A boy with cancer had a goal to collect 1 ton of soda pop tabs for the Ronald McDonald House. The enormous task came to a bittersweet end after 9 years. J.C. McAlexander was diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma, a type of cancer. His diagnosis came when he was just 8 years old. Thankfully, he had a strong support network, like his friends who shaved their heads after his diagnosis, and of course, his cat Lucky.
She's been with me through all my treatments. She's pretty old now. I think she knows when I have a bad day, and on those bad days, she tries to help me through them.
But perhaps the biggest supporter to both JC and his family was the Ronald McDonald House.
I had somebody that I could talk to about what our challenges were, about what our fears were.
The Ronald McDonald House provides support and housing for families caring for sick and injured children as they undergo treatment and recovery. JC and his family were no strangers to the house in Des Moines. JC even had a suite named after him. To show his appreciation, he set a goal to collect 1 ton of soda pop tabs for the organization. Now, if you're not familiar with the program, the Ronald McDonald House collects the tabs and later trades them in for cash at a recycling center. Usually, the charity receives 40 to 50 cents for every pound of pop tabs.
When you start doing the math, it's kind of crazy.
We had different places around Rockville City where people could donate pop tabs, like their own banks.
At age 17, nearly 10 years later, he was certain he'd reached that 1 ton goal.
It just helps you know that people are on my side, and it helps to keep me going. Giving back is very important.
Sadly, just 17 hours after JC's television interview, he passed away.
Looking back now, I think he knew that he was close to the end, but he used that whatever energy he had to talk to you. And then he didn't really talk much after that.
And I cried and held him and told him I loved him.
And that was it.
And then a mere 2 days later, JC's cat Lucky died of cancer too.
Yeah.
And we've been saying goodbye for 7 or 8 weeks now, and it's hard.
JC didn't get the chance to personally donate his mountain of pop tabs, but his friends and family came together to make sure his wishes were honored, and they were careful to include every single tab in that final weigh-in.
If somebody took the time to pull one of these off, we want to make sure that they get here.
What he wanted is finally getting done. It's a great thing.
For us, it's just carrying on a friend's legacy.
Last one, guys.
The final count, 3,520 pounds, almost double JC's original goal. I got the opportunity to sit down with reporter Eric Hansen, who covered this heartening story and actually interviewed JC in those final days. Hi, Eric. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Happy to be here.
So this story is really both heart-wrenching, but also incredibly inspiring.
It is. It kind of kicks us all in the butt to say, hey, what are you doing to your community? How are you helping the people around you? How are you paying it forward to the people who you don't even know who might be going through something at the Ronald McDonald House who could benefit from these pop tabs? It's just so inspiring to see someone who is 17 accomplish so much in the face of such health problems.
Now, did the soda pop tab donations to reach JC's goal come mostly from within the community or all around the country?
They really came from all over the place, from as far away as Texas and other places around the country. But the biggest amount of them came from in his hometown, where a lot of them didn't really bring them together until the point when JC passed away. And that's when everybody emptied out their drawers, emptied out all the bags and boxes that they had around town. And that's when the numbers really started piling up.
What was it like for you personally to hear about JC's passing?
It really threw me for a loop. I met JC about 1.5 years ago. I was speaking at a 4-H event, a statewide 4-H event, and he was getting an award at that event. Came up to me and told me about his goal to raise a ton of tabs. And I made the offhanded comment, give me a call someday if that happens. And it was actually from the folks at the Ronald McDonald House who called me to tell me we have 2 developments in JC's story. Number 1, he met his goal, but number 2, his parents just took him to the hospice house in Fort Dodge. So on that Tuesday, my photographer and I were driving to Fort Dodge to a completely unrelated story, and JC's mom called me. And she said, JC woke up this morning, he watched you on the news, and he said he thinks he wants to share his story. And you're welcome to come to the hospice house. And that was surprising, but I was honored. I walked into the hospice house, and he was paralyzed from the chest down, laying there with his cat in his hospice house bed. And he was really worn out, and he was tired, and I could tell that. But I asked him some questions, and he perked up. He told me about how much these donations from his community had really helped him over the years. I shook his hand after about an hour, and I said goodbye, and we'll look forward to seeing you down the road and sharing your story. The next morning, I anchored the morning news. I walked off the set back into the newsroom, and I got a text from JC's mom that said he had just passed away an hour before that. And to know that the family trusted me to share his story for an hour in one of the last 17 hours that he was alive was a huge honor, but also it was a responsibility I felt to tell his story the right way. And writing that story was really emotional. I got to know JC, and I just wanted to do it justice, to make sure that people got to know him, got to feel the passion that he had, and got to celebrate his life the way that his family would want.
Well, thank you again, Eric, really, for talking with us and sharing kind of your background insight into his life and his story.
My pleasure.
If this story inspired you and you'd like to make a Soda Pop Tab donation of your own, or just want to know more about the Ronald McDonald House and their mission, you can visit their website at rmhc.org to learn more. I'm Alexandra Stone, and this has been your Weekly Dispatch. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and like this video for more dispatches from the middle.